Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Lauren if you're new here. If you're not new, you know I love indies. Now, we love a good indie company here, and that's because they come out with some of the best eyeshadow ever. And probably my all-time favorite indie company is Give Me Glow. And they announced they were coming out with not one new palette, but two new palettes, and they launched them at the same time so people could save on shipping. So anyways, it was like Christmas. It was like Christmas in July for Lauren, okay? I think that's when I got these. Yes, I got them in July. It's July now, right? But what are we talking about? Let me show you. So the two palettes that Give Me Glow came out with could not have been more different. They're totally different vibes. The first palette that we're going to be talking about is the Butterfly Vibes palette. On their website, it says that this palette is based on the girly Y2K aesthetic. So I was pretty excited for that because I was definitely alive during that time period. But look how beautiful it is. This palette is retailing for $54. You do get 18 pans. You have 4 shimmers, the rest are mattes. They're all highly pigmented, super pigmented, as you will see when we get into the swatches. What's so interesting is that this palette in particular, the format is completely different than how Give Me Glow has ever done a palette before. So very unique, very new, very exciting. It doesn't have any names on the front. They actually ended up putting the names on the back of the palette, which I kind of love. Now, I went back and forth between whether or not I wanted this palette because I was like, I just don't know if I need it. That's what I always tell myself. I don't need it. And you know, I probably don't need anything, but I will say I'm very glad that I picked this up. And you will see why when we get into this look. I'm going to show you how I did this look after I show you the swatches of this palette. And then we're going to get into the next palette, which is so different. So different. It is the Juicy Blueberry palette. Now, you'll probably hear me call it the Wild Blueberry palette a couple times because I did that. That was me. But this is what the inside of this palette looks like. So we are dealing with completely different pan sizes. The previous palette had 18 pans in it. This one only has 10. This one retails for $45, which you may be thinking to yourself, okay, this is 10 pans, this has 18, this is 45, this is 54. You think there'd be a little bit more of a price difference, but what's special about the, I almost said Wild Blueberry again, Juicy Blueberry palette is that it has a color changing multi-chrome. So this one right here, Bake Sale Queen, that is a multi-chrome, and let me tell you, it is beautiful. It also has a, I need to read this, ultra sparkly pigment mixed with a blend of 4 multi-chrome pearls, and that's this one. So I guess the shimmer in there are multi-chrome, so also very cool. Two very different palettes, and we're going to explore both of them. So first we're going to use the Butterfly Vibes palette and do this look, and we are going to end our video with the Juicy Blueberry palette. We're going to do a look, do swatches first, then do a look, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how I feel overall about these palettes. Do I recommend them? Who do I recommend them for? And if I love them or not. So let's get into the swatches first of the Butterfly Vibes palette, and let's just get into it. Okay, we are swatching the Give Me Glow Butterfly Vibes palette, and this one has quite a few pans, so let's get into it. I'm sorry, I forgot to take off my watch band ahead of time, so we're doing this over an imprint, also kind of a tan, so let's do it. These don't have names, which I kind of like, so I'm just going to swatch to some music, so just sit back and relax.
that is the entire Butterfly Vibes palette from Give Me Glow swatched. There's a reason that I talk so frequently about Give Me Glow and their eyeshadow formula, and that I think just kind of showed itself by these swatches. I think the only one I went in twice was this yellow color. Everything else was just a one and done swatch. So the pigmentation is just absolutely incredible. The colors are so vibrant and beautiful. And yeah, so we're definitely gonna get into the look now. I'm very excited.
So the first look we're going to get into is one with the Butterfly Vibes palette because it's, I just touched it and I just fell in love. It's amazing. Look how beautiful this is. You just saw swatches. You don't need me showing this to you again. And here's the thing, with this palette, all the shimmers are ones that I want to use and I need to control myself, okay? There's only so many colors I can put on my eyes, right? But you know, I am just like, I've been in such a pink mood lately. So I think we are gonna use quite a few of these pinks in the upper corner. And you know I'm a green girly, so you know there will be a time and a place for all those beautiful greens. But let's do something with the pinks first. So first I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes with the Kaleidos Tone Activator. I think I'm just gonna do one eye on camera and then do the other eye off camera so we can do this fairly quickly so you're not here too long. This is gonna be a longer video. I love Give Me Glow and I wanted to give it its time, you know? So what's interesting about this palette is it does have names, but they're on the back, which I think is so smart because it saves you room on the front, right? Very, very smart. But I'm not gonna read off the names. I'm just gonna point to the color so you know what I'm using. And we're gonna start off with this little salmon color. No, I have to. This corner, the lavender pink, it is so pretty. It was the first thing I put my fingers in and just, it was love. I am tapping my brush off just in case because these are very pigmented and I get the feeling that it could cause a little bit of fallout if you're not too careful. I think this palette might have been made for Barbie summer. It just feels like Barbie and it's got a lot of just like pastel-y colors that I'm not a pastel girl. I don't do pastels, but they're so bright and vibrant in this palette that they're not pastels. They've transcended pasteldom and I am here for it. Okay, this might be my new favorite color of ever. I love Give Me Glow. Okay, next we're gonna go into this bright pink right here. Have to. We're doing a pink look today. It is what it is. I'm excited. You're excited. And I'm going to kind of just put it, I think, in the outer corners. We're not doing a halo eye. Not quite. It's not quite what I was going for with this look. So I'm just kind of putting it in the corners here, like so. And I'm just patting it on like this. I'm not doing too much blending. It's a very pigmented pink. Sometimes when you're dealing with super pigmented colors like this, it's easier just to press it onto the eye. I think this is why so many people hate the Norvina palettes because they're pressed pigments and they don't work super well when you try to blend them out. It's so much easier if you just press them into your eye. Okay, just like that. Next, I think I'm gonna dip into this color here. I hope I'm like not holding this. My fingerprints are already on the mirror. You're welcome. But we're going in with this other very vibrant pink, but a little bit cooler. And I'm just tapping that and blending that one into the end. Just give me a little bit of a deeper look. You know, I think we actually have room on my eye for two of these shimmers. So I think first I'm gonna go into this one in the corner right here. And I am going to put that somewhere. And their shimmers are so soft. It's like, what? I think I'm gonna put it up here. And then I think I'm also gonna put it in the corner, like so. Okay, and next I am gonna go into the pink shimmer right there. And you know, I'm gonna use my finger, I think, with their shimmers because they are so delicate. They really are. They're very soft, they're very delicate. Sometimes you get more of a color payoff if you use your fingers. As you can see here, oh my gosh. Okay, it's love. It's definitely love. We're gonna go into this salmony color here, and I'm gonna put that underneath my eye. And the bottom waterline, because I actually did want to use that color because I'm so happy with the way it's swatched. And it works really well with that pink shimmer because I feel like that pink shimmer is definitely more, has like more of a salmony base than the bright pinks that I used on the rest of my eye. And I think that's good. I like that. So I'm gonna go ahead, do the other eye off camera. Then I'm gonna come back with some mascara, some eyeliner to pull the look together. And then we're gonna move into the, I keep wanting to call it wild blueberry, but it's juicy blueberry. And we're gonna move on to the juicy blueberry palette. Okay, we are back with the final look using the Butterfly Vibes palette, and I'm in love. It's beautiful. It's everything I wanted in a pink look. The shimmers were both amazing, but that pink shimmer, just really, I feel like made it something special. I am gonna save all my comments until the very end of the video after we also do a look with the Juicy Blueberry palette, but I just wanted to give you a up close and personal look of what we did with this palette before we move on to the next one. So here we go. Now, let's get into that Juicy Blueberry palette.
So now we're gonna be swatching the new Juicy Blueberry palette from Give Me Glow. And it's really interesting how different these two palettes are. Obviously, this has names. The pan sizes are much bigger, so we're getting less colors, but it's still a beautiful palette. So let's go ahead and swatch it. No music for you guys on this one because it has names, so I'm going to tell you the names. So we have Golden Brown, Bake Sale Queen. Oh my god. What a ridiculously pigmented shimmer. I just need to stop for a second. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wild and Sweet. Stacked Up. I do really appreciate when they include a neutral brown. I really do. 400. Mini Muffins. Lick the Spoon. Butter Me Up. I'm gonna go back in with this. I think I'm gonna go in one more with 400 too, just to really show the pigmentation. Wake and Bake. And Sugared Blueberry Drizzle. So here is the entirety of the Wild Blueberry palette swatch. Absolutely stunning, if I do say so myself. Very different color story from the Butterfly Vibes palette, for sure. So I'm definitely excited to see the look that we do with this palette, so let's get into it.
Okay, on to the next palette. We are using Juicy Blueberry in this look, and I am so excited. I've already primed this eye with my Kaleidos Tone Activator Primer, so we are going to do a purple look. If you've been here before, you know I love purple so much. I think we're gonna start by going into Lick the Spoon. I'm gonna go ahead and put that, I think, on my upper eyelid. Again, I'm just like tapping it off because these are super pigmented and I'm trying to prevent a bunch of fallout on my face. We didn't have a lot of fallout with the last palette, which is really nice. But when I took it off, I do see some shimmer. and that's just the way it is, right? One thing that I really like about this palette in particular is that it's cool toned. Like, it's just such a cool toned palette. I love that. Oh, and this is definitely going to be a palette that I can see getting a lot of use during Halloween. This color in particular just seems to kind of scream fall to me. Love it. Okay, next I think what I want to do is I'm going to go into Wild and Sweet. And I think what I'm going to do with this one is, it's so pretty, is I'm going to layer this one in my crease all the way across. And I'm just kind of patting it in. I'm not doing too much blending now, but just so we can create a little bit of dimension. That's another color I can see getting a lot of use because it is just the prettiest purple. Ugh, so pretty. Okay, let's, I think, go into this one in the corner, Mini Muffins, right here. And I'm gonna put that color just kind of on the outer ends and the inner, similar to what we did in the last look. But I'm gonna try not to overlap any of the other colors with it. So we're not trying to layer them on each other in this case. We're just trying to create their own layers, if you will. Now, do we use the multi-chrome or do we use that multi-pigmented shimmer beautiful? What did they, hang on, I gotta read this again. Okay. Ultra sparkly pigment mixed with a blend of 4 multi-chrome pearls. That is how they're describing the sugared blueberry drizzle color, because I can read so well. It's hard to read some of the fonts when the bright ring light is like in your face. I think we have to do the multi-chrome, right? Yeah, we do. Okay, let me go get some glitter glue because it's just gonna work so much better if you use a glitter glue with it. And lucky for me, Give Me Glow actually makes eyeshadow primers. I'm almost out of the one that I normally use, the parchment one, but I do have the glitter glue. It's called Glow Harder. They may have redone this one recently. I think it's called something else now. Don't remember off the top of my head, but these are fantastic primers. So I'm just putting it a little bit in the middle of my eye. I'm going to kind of move it around where I want to place the multi-chrome. We're gonna stick it right in the middle. Classic. I'm gonna let it dry down a little bit just so it gets a little bit tacky. And yeah, we're going in with the finger. Love going in with the finger. Oh my gosh. The color of this is a blue purple shift, and it's just got like so much depth to it. Like, it's not just a blue or a purple, it's like blues and purples, and it's so foiled. And my eyes, sometimes I'm like mid-30s officially, 35, and sometimes my eyes just have a little bit of texture. So sometimes multi-chromes don't lie flat. I have to kind of stretch the eye. God, this is sounding so weird, but just so you can kind of see that like metallicness that is coming off of this color. Okay, well, that is a gorgeous look. I'm in love, but we need to put something under the waterline always. So let's go back into Wild and Sweet. I just really like that color. It's really, really pretty. And it makes my eyes pop quite a bit, so. Okay, I think that's what we're gonna do for this look. Same thing as with the other palette. I'm gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing in the other eye. I'm going to put on some mascara, some eyeliner, come back here, and then talk about my final thoughts about both these palettes. Okay, so this is the final look. Again, I wanted to show you the final look before jumping into my final thoughts on both of the palettes. Oh my gosh, I definitely feel like this is a palette I will be using a lot in the fall. It is a much darker look than I initially envisioned. I like it quite a bit, but it is on the darker side, so I feel very vampy right now. I like it, I like it. But either way, here's the final look. And let's go ahead and jump into my final thoughts about both of these palettes. So we played with two very different palettes today. First, we swatched and did a look with the Butterfly Vibes palette. And then we moved on to the Juicy Blueberry. So very different vibes from both these palettes. Let's talk about them. How do I feel about them? Would I recommend them? Do you think it's something that you need in your collection? Well, first off, I will always recommend Give Me Glow. I think their eyeshadow formula is just unbeatable. No one's done something as good as this. It's smooth, it's creamy, they blend well, or if they're a pressed pigment, they are so vivid, they press into your eyes beautifully. The multi-chromes and the shimmers are just, oh, they're so good. I cannot stress how great a formula Give Me Glow's eyeshadow is. Oh, so good. Now, when comparing the palettes, I mean, they're very, very different. So we have the Butterfly Vibes one, which is this one. And then we have, it's hard to hold them both, Juicy Blueberry, which is this one. So again, we're dealing with different pan sizes, different types of eyeshadows in these palettes. I mean, this one has a multi-chrome and then this beautiful shimmer with multi-chrome shimmers in it, or that whole sentence that I've said multiple times now. So pretty. And then we have these shimmers, which not multi-chromes, but are also just absolutely gorgeous. Like you touch them and they just feel like magic, and they apply like magic as well. So pretty. Again, different vibes. So would I recommend these palettes? It really depends on what you're looking for. If you're somebody that wants something more summery, more bright and vibrant, then I would say Butterfly Vibes is right up your alley. The one thing I will say about this, I wish there was more shimmers. I feel like I say that about every palette, but I am so in love with Give Me Glow's shimmer formula that if a couple more were shimmers, I would be so incredibly happy. Just because their formula is just, it's unbeatable. I can't talk about how much I love it enough, clearly. So this is definitely more of a summery vibe. You're getting bright, you're getting vibrant. I didn't experience any fallout, but I did tap my brush, and I think that helped because I did see some, a little bit of powder when I tapped it, which is totally normal. But because they're so pigmented, you just want to be careful when applying them. Now, I was a little worried that the pink would stain my lids, but I didn't experience that when I took it off, so that was really good. I was, pressed pigments normally stain my lids just because I'm so ghostly pale, but nope, no stainage so far from the ones that I've tried, so really happy about that. This palette swatched like a dream, and I do feel like you'd be able to get way more looks out of this palette. This one again is a little more expensive. This one is $54 versus $45 for the Juicy Blueberry, but you get more variety in this one. So you have more colors, you have more options. There's a lot going on in this palette, and I love it. I mean, you could do more grunge. They've got the olive greens, they've got the matte browns, totally beautiful, or you could just do the Barbie look like I did, which I also love. So great palette. Juicy Blueberry, another great palette, but again, much different vibe. So the look I ended up pulling out with this one is much darker, much moodier, and it just, clearly I'm in the mood for Halloween. I feel like I've been in the mood for Halloween for months now. I'm missing the pumpkin spice lattes. And to be fair, I reached for the darker colors. I did. There's plenty of other options on here that are gonna give you a lighter, brighter look. I didn't even go into Wake and Bake, and that one is definitely kind of matches this palette a little bit more, but mainly a purple vibe. You need to love purples if you're getting this palette. If you're like, I don't think purples are my thing, then I'm gonna say I don't think this palette is your thing. But if you're looking for some really, really beautiful multi-chromes, you've got this one in here that's absolutely fantastic. Again, you have this shimmer here that is absolutely gorgeous as well, and the mattes just all performed beautifully. And it is a cool tone palette, so I really, really like that it is primarily on the cooler side of things. My skin tone tends to really gravitate towards more cooler toned colors, so when I find a cool tone palette, it's pretty exciting. I will always recommend Give Me Glow because it's just a fun, beautiful formula. It's so, so good. But again, I can't stress enough, buy the palette that fits you, If this is more your vibe, get the Butterfly Vibes. If Juicy Blueberry is your vibe and you want to look like a muffin, I think Juicy Blueberry is your vibe. So just really go with whichever one catches your fancy a little bit more. I mean, if you want to try something new, go with the other one, right? I mean, the eyeshadow formula is so easy to play with. I just think you can't go wrong either way. But I am a fan, a really big fan. I cannot tell you how happy I am to have these palettes in my collection. The fact that they came out with 2 at the same time, it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, okay, I'll get both. Why not? Give Me Glow. So no regrets on my part. They performed beautifully. Fallout was really non-existent, which is really impressive. That you don't see that a lot with pressed pigments, but it's just, oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'm so excited to have these and to play with them more and to, yeah, really get a lot of use out of them, because I always reach for my Give Me Glow singles. I always reach for my Give Me Glow palettes, and I cannot talk about how beautiful this formula is enough. You need to try it. Try it and tell me I'm wrong. You can actually buy singles on their website as well. So if you're looking for only a couple colors, I'm not sure if the colors from these palettes are available in singles, but they have such a wide variety of colors. I would definitely say if you're not quite sure what you want to do, just pick up a couple singles. You know, don't go crazy. Just see if you like them, right? Doesn't hurt. I love talking about indie brands. I'm so glad I got to talk about Give Me Glow again because I love them. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below, are you planning on picking up anything from Give Me Glow? Have you already picked up one of these palettes? And also, if you're looking for a glitter primer, the glitter primer is fantastic. So they have a lot of things. They have, oh my God, so many great things. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna take a nap. I am super excited. I hope you're all having an amazing day. I will see you in my next video. Bye.